All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on a journey along a river that is so much more than just a body of water. It's seen as a goddess, a lifeline, really a mother to millions. We're going to follow the Ganga, all the way from its icy birth in the Himalayas to where it meets the Bay of Bengal. But this is way more than just a geography lesson. We're actually asking a much bigger question here. How does a simple river become the very soul of a nation? How does it completely transform into the cultural, spiritual, and economic lifeline for almost 500 million people? So, where does it all begin? Well, our story starts at the roof of the world, in the absolutely breathtaking heights of the Himalayas. This is the true birthplace of the Ganga. And here's something that might surprise you. The Ganga doesn't actually start out as the Ganga. Nope, it begins as this rushing torrent of glacial melt called the Bhagirathi, born high up in the Gangotri Glacier. It's only when it travels down to the sacred town of Dev-Prayag and merges with another powerful river, the Alaknanda, that the two become one. And that exact moment? That's when the river we all know as the Ganga officially begins its journey. Okay, so as it leaves the steep mountain valleys behind, everything changes. The river comes down onto the huge, fertile plains of northern India. And this is where it starts its grand tour, a journey that has literally shaped the landscape and the destiny of millions for thousands of years. And we are talking about a massive tour. The river travels over 2,500 kilometers. Just to put that into perspective for you, that's about the same distance as driving from London to Moscow. This incredible length makes it one of the most vital arteries for the entire subcontinent. And that journey takes it right through the heart of 4 major Indian states. It starts its big drop in Uttarakhand, then it winds through the massive agricultural heartland of Uttar Pradesh, it nourishes the plains of Bihar, and then finally flows through West Bengal on its way out to the sea. But here's the thing. The Ganga doesn't make this epic journey all by itself. Not at all. It's probably better to think of it as a whole family of rivers. Along the way, it's joined by this entire network of tributaries, and every single one adds to its volume and its power. And this network is just immense. Geographers talk about these tributaries based on which side they join from. So from the left bank, you've got rivers like the Kosi and Gagra, and they're carrying all that melted snow from the Himalayas. And then from the right bank, it gets joined by major rivers like the Yamuna and the Son, which drain the highlands of central India. But out of all these rivers that join the party, there's one that's an absolute giant in its own right, the Yamuna River. It is the Ganga's single largest tributary, and the point where they meet, at Prayagraj, is one of the holiest sites in Hinduism. It's a place where millions and millions of people gather for sacred rituals right at the confluence of these two mighty rivers. All right, so after its long, long journey across the plains, after collecting water from countless other rivers, the Ganga is finally approaching the very last stage of its path. It's meeting with the ocean. But before it gets there, the Ganga has one final, absolutely monumental meeting. It merges with another one of Asia's great rivers, the Brahmaputra. I mean, you have these two titans of the river world combining their power, carrying and dropping billions of tons of rich sediment, and building this massive, fertile landscape right at the edge of the sea. This incredible landscape is the Sundarban Delta. And listen, this isn't just any delta. It is the largest one on the entire planet. Can you believe that? It's this unique, tangled world of mangrove forests and waterways that stretches across both India and Bangladesh, and it's even home to the Royal Bengal tiger. And it's from right here, through countless little channels, that its waters finally empty out. The whole 2,500-kilometer journey is complete, as the fresh water from the highest mountains on Earth finally merges into the salt of the Bay of Bengal. So, we've traced the physical path, right? From a tiny stream of glacial melt all the way to the ocean. But the real story of the Ganga? Well, it's about so much more than just geography. It's really about life itself. So what's the secret to its power? It all comes down to this. The Ganga is a perennial river. What that means is it flows all year round. It's fed by both the Himalayan glaciers and the seasonal monsoon rains, so it never runs dry. In a part of the world that really depends on the rhythm of the monsoons, this constant flow is an incredibly reliable source of water, making it the bedrock of agriculture and civilization.
And because it's always there, it's really no surprise that great centers of civilization have flourished on its banks for centuries. I'm talking about major cities like Kanpur, Prayagraj, Varanasi, Patna, and Kolkata. They all owe their very existence to the river flowing right beside them. But beyond any of the practical uses, the Ganga holds this profound spiritual power. For hundreds of millions of Hindus, this isn't just a river, it is the goddess Ganga herself, a liquid embodiment of the divine. Its waters are believed to wash away sins, which makes it a sacred being, central to the cycles of life, death, and rebirth.
Of course, in the modern era, this secret lifeline faces immense pressure from industrial and urban pollution. It's a huge problem. Recognizing this crisis, the Namami Gange program was launched back in 2014. It's one of the most ambitious river restoration projects anywhere in the world, a national mission to clean and rejuvenate the Ganga for future generations. And that brings us to today. The Ganga's journey is ancient, having shaped land and life for millennia. But its story is far from over. The real challenge of balancing sacred tradition with modern development and ecological health, well, that's the defining question that's going to write the next chapter for this incredible river.